Ugh, poison. Ugh. Oh. Hey folks, it's Matt. I'm at my folks' place this summer, but as they say, the show must go on. So today I'm gonna review Gory, Grody, Guts and Blood 4, The Murdering.
Young man, that better be a Christian movie.
God, I mean, Oops, Noah is gone?
There were some movies, terrible movies, movies so awful, no one would touch. Then came a Matthew, sad little Matthew. Matthew decided these movies to watch. For every good movie, there's at least 10 bad. Matthew gonna drag himself through the crap to find the worst ones there are to be had.
Today's episode, Oops, Noah is gone. Okay, my copy's not actually called Oops, Noah is Gone, but this film's gone under quite a few different titles. Sometimes it's 2x2, God's Creatures Big and Small, or my copy's 2x2, God's Creatures Big and Small. But the American theatrical title was Oops, Noah is Gone, and I think you can figure out why that's my favorite. This is, in fact, a foreign release, from the same country as Thor: Legend of the Magical Hammer. In fact, it's the same studio and same director as Thor. And they've really stepped up their game in their animation department. This is some top-notch animation. And they picked up some voice talent to go with it, as one of the characters is dubbed by Martin Sheen. Martin, what are you doing? The films I review on this show are more suited for, Joe. Actually, it seems originally Martin Sheen was not the voice of this character.
All animals are welcome on the ark.
And finally, all animals are welcome on the ark.
That's the only difference I can find between the Oops, Noah is Gone release and any of the other various titles this film has had. Unfortunately, they did not pick up better writers. And I don't just mean because 2 of the 4 writers also wrote Thor. I mean because this movie sucks. So allow me to flood your screen with Oops, Noah is Gone. And what would this good Christian movie start with but a marijuana leaf painted red, yellow, and green?
Are you watching drug movies in there?
Mom, I swear this is a Christian movie. It's approved by the Dove Foundation. We're introduced to Vinny and his dad, Dave. 2, Nestrians? Why would you make them animals that don't exist? Now they're basically guaranteed to go extinct by the end of this film. Dave and Vinny have a real Nemo-Marlin dynamic. In fact, this whole film reeks of Finding Nemo influence. Basically, the only difference is that they're not fish. What? I just said they're not fish. Anyway, the humans have angered God, so he's gonna kill everything on Earth. You know, the story of Noah is kind of fucked up for kids. I mean, we don't tell them the story of, David and Bathsheba. Although, this film kind of sidesteps that by not mentioning God at all, and also not really mentioning Noah except for one time. They just sort of treat the flood like a natural disaster. And then hey, it's Alec Baldwin's character from Madagascar 2. Except now he's Martin Sheen.
The crew were mostly just kids. Rock and rollers with one foot in their graves.
How old are you?
17.
Okay, let me break this down for you. The lion's in charge of the ship. He and his rhino and flamingo friends get to decide who is and isn't going on the ark. So they're literally dooming some animals to extinction. And the sign-in process seems beyond impractical.
We are tigers from Siberia.
Welcome aboard. Next.
Of course, Dave doesn't make the list, but they bump into 2 Incineroars. I don't care what they're called in the movie, these are Incineroars. Which gives Dave a great idea. To dress as Incineroars. And I have to address this up front. Dave is trying to get on the Ark with his son. And the other group of animals we meet are a pair of mother and daughter trying to get on the Ark. The reason it's 2 by 2 is so they can reproduce. Something fathers and sons cannot do.
I didn't come here all the way from Kansas to get eaten.
Kansas didn't exist in the Bible.
Do you think we'll be the only Grimps on board?
It was 2 of each animal. The alternate title is 2 by 2. Although, for your incestuously lesbian sake, you better hope there are more. Of course, misunderstanding means they get on the Ark. Leah, the baby Incineroar, wants to see the float for herself, so she distracts the gorilla guards with barrels. What kind of stupid gorilla likes barrels? This insult will not go unpunished.
The flood! What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Relax, we're on an ark.
Right. This the Ark. What am I worrying about? This isn't the Ark.
What?
This isn't the Ark!
So take 3 steps to the left and get back on the Ark! Nope, they just don't. These animals deserve to die. Unfortunately for Darwin, some bats save them and they manage to make it to land. Ah, you see, she's too much of a loner when she needs the other characters. This has never been done in a movie before. Also, they find out Dave is a stowaway and lock him and Mama Cat up. Why does the Ark even have a brig? Surely if they're not supposed to be there, you can just throw them off? That's a room that you could be keeping more animals in. The kids meet a giant rock-looking creature named...
My name's Obesi.
No, absolutely not. I'm gonna call you Ishmael. So Ishmael is this big rock thing, and he's got a little furry octopus friend who is just voiced by the Hammer from Thor and the Magical Hammer.
Hi. Why aren't you kids on the ark?
You ever seen a hammer throw up?
And their plan is to get to higher ground so they can prolong the inevitable. Meanwhile, Dave and Mama Cat are plotting their escape, and whoa, I can't believe they updated the graphics for Bible Adventure. Where is this coming from? Is this his imagination? This is the only part of the movie like this. Although when you see how the escape goes, you'll want this back.
You can't do this!
What? So, Gorilla opens window, sees them running around inside while he is outside. He gets angry and pounds his chest, and suddenly he's inside the cell? I think there's a crucial shot missing here. Like, some shots you can drop and the story will still make sense, but this turns the scene incomprehensible. Unless we're going for that Looney Tunes thing where they can magically change between cuts.
She pretended she was hunting him, so I went in to stop her, and I said, hey, no hunting on the Ark.
Oh, is that what happened? You're missing at least a shot of the guy walking into the door. They make it to Captain Sheen. Why is a lion driving the boat and not Noah? More like, oops, Noah is gone from our script about Noah.
I don't think anyone will miss a Nestrian?
Wait, how? He's a moving target and his head is far away from you. Also, it takes more than a stick to knock out a lion. Whatever, now they're on their way to the mountain, where a Roadrunner cartoon is about to be reenacted.
Candlelight dinner.
Is her finger made of matches? What the fuck? Also, these dumbasses are waiting right under the rocks, so this seems obvious. Less obvious, however, is a pointless Tetris reference. And even less obvious than that, a hat Vinny made turns into a hang glider because fuck physics. Dead, 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 dead. Oh look, they survived.
I knew it!
Are you okay?
I knew this would happen!
You knew that hat would turn into a hang glider, which would then break, and you would fall to your death. Because I gotta say, I didn't see that one coming. Leah goes on by herself, and I don't see how this could go wrong. Oh, it did.
What?
I'm sorry, what the fuck? I guess Ishmael and the head of the family are the same species. Whatever, they save her. Guess she learned not to be a loner. A gorilla needs to talk to Captain Sheen, so to cover up their tracks, they fucking hang him. Aw, sweet, do me next, do me next! The mountain gang goes into a spooky cave where they set up camp.
But the flood... it seems unstoppable. Maybe we're not destined to survive this deluge. Ever thought about that? All my life, people have been making fun of me, saying I was good for nothing. I never fitted in anywhere. Now they don't even want me on the Ark. I'm just...
Fat?
No! Doomed.
Well, this got depressingly real depressingly fast. Another point. Whether or not it's raining is really inconsistent. Like, it's a global flood. Surely it should be pouring rain everywhere all the time. For 40 days and 40 nights, according to the Bible. But now it's raining so hard, the cave begins to flood from above. You guys seen Free Willy? 'Cause the director of this movie sure has. The water pushes them all the way to an exit that Ishmael plugs up. Wait, it's not even raining? Then why was the water coming from the ceiling?
Oh, pardon me.
Gross. The kids fall into a nest, narrowly managing to survive, but Ishmael and his friend fall to their death.
Remember us!
Like, they just fell to their deaths. I'm not joking here. That's what happened. Oh, and they're not out of the woods yet. But they do manage to make it basically to the top of the mountain.
How much time do you think we have?
Not a lot.
It's funny because they're gonna die.
This can't be the end.
Oh, BC was right.
Huh?
We're not destined to survive.
I was not prepared for an existential crisis in the middle of Oops, Noah is gone. The Ark finds them and they try to jump on board, but Vinny gets knocked unconscious and drowns. The end. No, the real ending is much stupider.
Dad, I can't breathe.
I know. We're underwater. You're talking. You're breathing. Ah, you're alive.
But so are you, Dad.
I know. I know.
That's right, all the animals who didn't make it on the Ark were sea creatures. With fur. But hey, Ishmael's back. Turns out he's a whale. And his friend is... an octopus? I don't know, the whale's the only real sea creature. You know whales can't live on land that long. There's this whole phenomenon called beached whales. They fucking die. So that's Oops, Noah is gone. Oops indeed. Apart from barely relating to the story of Noah and being absolutely devoid of Christian messaging, this is also just not a great movie for kids. Characters are presumed to have died throughout, and they reflect just a little too much on the fact that they're doomed to extinction. The story of Noah is just not really appropriate for kids in general. Like, I get it, kids like animals, but it's also about God killing everyone as punishment for sins. That's kind of heavy for a Dove audience, don't you think? Especially when this film doesn't get into why it happened, nor do they explain the end of the story where God promises not to do it again. Although, considering how the world's running right now, and the sea levels are rising, you think God's about to drop round 2 on us? Also, the story's just really lame. It's like a half-assed Pixar movie. So, like, on par with what Pixar does now. It's really obvious they've reused a lot of voice cast for this dub, and none of the jokes are very good. But the animation is great. Character designs are really cute. I'd buy my kids a stuffed animal of this. That's adorable. Can't save this movie, though. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy the one I did about Thor and the Magical Hammer from the same studio. Until next time, I'm Matt, and I have a promise I gotta keep.
Could you manage that, or is that too much to ask of a Nestrian?
So that's when I tampered with the DNA evidence. Yeah! Is that a barrel?